is CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Sanjay Maru. Thanks for joining us. A new multi-million-dollar deal between the province and Diageo is being pitched as a win for Ontario, but in Amherstburg, reaction is sharp and skeptical. With about 200 jobs disappearing when the local bottling plant closes, the town's mayor says this agreement barely moves the needle for workers. CTV's Travis Fortnum kicks things off tonight.
The plant is still closing, and Amherstburg's mayor says the province's new deal with Diageo does little for the people about to lose their jobs.
We never thought it would, stop the closure of the plant. The plant has been, deemed to be closed for some time.
The Ontario government announcing Friday a $23 million agreement with the spirit maker, keeping Crown Royal on LCBO shelves and spreading investments across the province, but only a fraction in the town hurt by the closure.
Exactly 2% of that $23 million is earmarked for the people of Amherstburg. That's all, 2%.
Diageo committing $11 million to buy spirits from an Eastern Ontario producer, $3 million for ready-to-drink beverages in Toronto, $2 million for packaging in Scarborough, plus millions more for marketing across Ontario. Windsor-Essex is slated for $1 million, half for economic development through Invest Windsor-Essex, and half for community projects in Amherstburg.
This $500,000 that the town may or may not get is not going to help.
Labor leaders also pushing back.
They didn't look at those employees in Amherstburg when they were bargaining this agreement. This is so disappointing for that town.
Windsor West NDP MPP Lisa Gretzky also criticizing the deal, asking in a statement, quote, does the Premier expect us to applaud him for commitments outside Windsor-Essex? Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy says the agreement also includes discussions about a possible new Ontario canning facility.
That is not a commitment. That's a conversation. But of course, they have a good experience here in Ontario. We're their largest customer. We have great workers here, so having that dialogue is very positive.
Bruce says what the town has been pushing for is a sale of the facility to keep the jobs here.
We know of 2 willing buyers who want to keep the plant open and hire the 160 employees. I heard today of a third one, although I have not seen any details on it.
With about 2 weeks left before the closure, he says the town is still pressing for that outcome. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
There's a call for answers following a reported meeting between the owner of the Ambassador Bridge and U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, a meeting that reportedly happened just before Donald Trump took to Truth Social to say he will block the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge. Now, a California congressman on the U.S. House Oversight Committee is now demanding records tied to that reported meeting, wanting to know if it influenced Trump's threat. It was the New York Times who first reported earlier this week that Trump's post to Truth Social followed a meeting between Lutnick and Matthew Maroon, whose family owns the Ambassador Bridge. Congressman Robert Garcia is now calling for emails, texts, and calendar records tied to that meeting, arguing it's unacceptable for a politically connected billionaire to influence trade policy. The Maroon family has long opposed the Gordie Howe Bridge, which would end its monopoly on commercial truck traffic at the busiest border crossing in North America. Garcia warns interference could increase congestion and disrupt U.S.-Canada trade. Speaking on AM 800, Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib saying in her opinion, this is just par for the course.
Billionaire corruption goes hand in hand with the White House right now. So it wasn't a surprise to me that Matthew Maroon, the owner of the opposite, literally falling apart Ambassador Bridge, met with Trump administration hours before the president absurdly threatened to block the safer and more efficient Gordie Howe Bridge from opening. The Maroons have always taken this approach of donating to colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans in the United States, in a way that makes them look the other way when it comes to their lawlessness, them not following various permit process and things of that nature.
And as those questions are investigated, Michigan lawmakers are also moving to prevent any federal interference altogether. In a press release, Congresswoman Hillary Scholten announced new legislation that would block the Trump administration from interfering with the bridge's opening or operation. More now on some welcome news for the local auto sector. More than 1,600 people gearing up for the return of the third shift at Windsor Assembly early next week, with many of those jobs to be filled by laid-off workers at the shuttered Brampton plant. Here's CTV's Siobhan Morris.
It's big smiles and thumbs up in one Ontario auto city, a third shift returning to Windsor's Stellantis plant starting Tuesday. 1,700 workers dedicated to the Charger and Dodge Caravan. But 350 kilometers away, there's no sign of thaw at the Stellantis plant in Brampton. 3,000 workers here have been laid off for 2 years now. Just over 200 of them have moved, found jobs on that third shift in Windsor.
This is Stellantis putting lipstick on a pig. They still have a duty and an obligation to Canadian taxpayers.
The Brampton plant had been down supposedly for retooling. Then in the fall, under the cloud of U.S. tariffs, the company moved production of the Jeep Compass to Illinois. Speaking with BNN Bloomberg this week, the head of Stellantis Canada insists the company isn't abandoning the city.
We want to build cars in Brampton. We've been in Canada for 100 years. We've been making cars in Canada for 100 years, and we want to continue making cars in Canada for the next 100.
The mayor says that doesn't line up with the position the automaker has taken in his conversations.
As long as tariffs exist on the auto sector in Canada, there is not a business case for auto jobs in Canada. And so they continue to be bullied. Until I see Stellantis with some backbone, I'm not going to be encouraged by these PR exercises.
Stellantis says it's still considering options for Brampton.
The more that vehicle that we eventually put there meets the needs of Canadians and meets the needs of export markets for us here and gets to the volume standards there, we can bring costs down.
Barring a new line, the federal government is trying to recoup hundreds of millions of dollars in subsidies it's given the company, with the understanding jobs would be maintained. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Windsor police are asking for help after 3 5-week-old puppies were stolen during a home invasion in the West End. Police say around 1:30 Tuesday morning, 3 suspects ran from the home in the 600 block of Bridge Avenue carrying the young Dogo Argentino and American Bully mixed breed puppies named Bobby, Birdie, and Dipstick. Investigators describe 1 woman and 2 male suspects. You can find detailed descriptions of those suspects on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. The head of the union representing Windsor police officers says a corruption scandal in Toronto appears to be an isolated case, but it's casting doubt on police forces across Ontario. The Inspector General has ordered a review of all 45 police services in the province after 7 Toronto officers and 1 retiree were charged with offences including bribery, drug trafficking, theft, and conspiracy to commit murder. Windsor Police Association President Kent Rice says he's not aware of any concerns locally, pointing to existing oversight and policies already in place. He says those safeguards would likely flag any serious misconduct.
Especially with the modern day policing that you have, we have officers with body-worn microphones and cameras and all these things. This was part of oversight that was initiated years ago that was brought in that really, if this was going on in Windsor or other police services, this would be triggered.
The federal Liberals have been pushed further away from forming a majority government. They now need 4 seats after losing 1 today when the Supreme Court invalidated a result from April's general election. The court nullifying the Liberal candidate's 1-vote victory in the Terrebonne riding near Montreal. The Bloc Québécois candidate had challenged the election results after one of her supporters said she had tried to vote by mail using a special ballot, but the voter says it was never counted because it was returned to her, and that was due to a mistake in the postal code on a label supplied by Elections Canada. The judge calling it a routine clerical error. The seat is now vacant, and a by-election will be required. Well, when it comes to inclusive elementary schools, one in Wallaceburg likely takes top spot. Their students, of course, work on English. Then, as part of their core learning, students can choose to learn French or Ojibwe languages. But as CTV's Michelle Molesky shows us, the students are also learning Braille and sign language, all in an effort to make the classroom more inclusive.
I might try to start folding it.
This is Braille Club at A.A. Wright Elementary.
When I started work with Legacy, I thought, what a great way to work on her social interaction skills.
Legacy Shipman Rogers jumped at the idea on one condition.
She said that I could help run the Braille Club.
And that's just what this plucky 10-year-old does.
There's even the Braille cells right here.
Every Thursday, instead of going out for lunch recess, nearly 20 of Shipman Rogers' peers learn about life through her eyes.
Miss Julie has some glasses that have what she sees in it, so it's cool looking through it.
6 and then 7.
The club may have been started for her, but Shipman Rogers is more focused on sharing her knowledge.
What's your favorite part about Braille Club?
Helping everybody get on the braillers.
At the table.
As the club gained in interest, Miss Julie, as she's known here, took it one step further.
So that one was F-O-X, Fox.
She also teaches the kids sign language. Nathan McAdam likes to lead those lessons with good reason.
My sister's deaf, my cat's deaf, and my dad's deaf, and my cousin's deaf.
He also knows Braille.
And just in case if I get blind.
Learning to write in Braille is tricky, and that's kind of the point of the club.
Just kind of raising awareness about the diverse ways that people learn.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
If you're like me, you might be monitoring your waistline as the Valentine's Day treats start coming out. But if you need a little inspiration, wait until you meet this golden retriever hitting the gym and shedding the pounds. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining me now for a look at the forecast. Gary, who doesn't love Valentine's Day? Who doesn't love the weekend, especially with the string of warmer temperatures that we've been experiencing all week long?
Are you buttering up your beautiful wife? Is that where you're headed? Good work. Good work. Who doesn't love Valentine's Day, right? If you're in love, in particular. Well, the weather should be most agreeable, I think, at least in terms of temperatures. Case in point, a continuation of temperatures being above seasonal, just like today, almost reaching 3 degrees Celsius. Our average is now actually above the freezing mark at 0.2 degrees Celsius. It was a cold start, but we got into some nice sunny breaks late morning through the mid-afternoon. There is snow in the vicinity, but it's likely to stay to the north and east of us. Meanwhile, blowing snow, changing over to drizzle, freezing drizzle that is the story for Grey Bruce, passing right over the heart, Manitoulin Island, into the beautiful region of the Bruce Peninsula. If you have travel plans, just to the east of London this evening, over the next couple hours, you may encounter along the 401, the 400, some snow, certainly. There could be a little mix of freezing drizzle right through Stratford, Ontario, London, Listowel. Most of the worst weather stays to the north and east of us, well to the north and east of us over the next 24 hours. But something to consider if you do have travel plans late tonight. Overnight temperature drops down to about -5, feeling like about -10. It is mostly cloudy at that time, say around 4 or 5 a.m., feeling like a chilly -10, but it's been a lot colder than that over the last near 4 weeks. So the trend is towards warmer temperatures, especially through the latter stage of the morning into the afternoon. It'll be cloudy to start, and we'll wind up with a mixture of sun and cloud and a high of 4 degrees Celsius with a light breeze out of the south for the afternoon. So there it is. Happy Valentine's Day. More sunshine for Sunday, 3 degrees Celsius the high. Happy Family Day, Monday, up to 6. And then a cloudy week with some rain through the midweek. We'll see Tuesday at 5 for Wednesday up to 7, and then down to 3 Thursday, transitioning into Friday. The midweek is quite rainy, but that would be snow if we were much colder. Warm enough to see it being steady. Let's look at your next 7 days.
Canada now has 7 medals in the Winter Olympics, but still no gold. CTV's Scott Hurst with a look at how Team Canada is faring as Week 1 nears its end.
Courtney Saroux proudly displays both her medals from Milano Cortina.
I feel so grateful. It feels unbelievable.
The 25-year-old from Moncton, New Brunswick, is Canada's first double medalist at these Olympic Games. She won silver earlier in the week alongside her teammates in the mixed relay event and bronze in the women's short track 500 meter.
I didn't want to leave the ice with any regrets, so I just went for it and gave everything, and it got me some extra bling.
And she has a shot at even more medals to come in the Olympic competition. Staying on the ice, a busy day for the men's curling team led by Brad Jacobs. They're the oldest group in the men's curling competition and used every bit of age and experience in a 6-3 win over the Americans, who are the youngest squad in the competition. Team Canada also beat Sweden today. The Canadian rink is now 3-0. On the women's side, a stunning upset for the top-ranked Canadians. Rachel Homan's squad lost to the Americans 9-8. With the loss, Team Canada is now 1-1 in the preliminary round. Their next game is tomorrow against Great Britain. Mark McMorris has been cleared for competition after a nasty crash that kept him out of the Big Air event last weekend. The three-time defending Olympic bronze medalist in men's snowboard slopestyle will now get a chance at another podium. Slopestyle qualification begins on Monday. The women's hockey team is back in action on Saturday, now into the knockout round. The reigning Olympic champions will play Germany in the quarterfinals. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index climbed on gains in the basic materials sector. The TSX is up more than 600 points. In New York, the Dow adding 49, the Nasdaq losing 50. The Canadian dollar falls 0.05 of a cent. And on commodity markets, gold gains almost $100 an ounce, while oil adds a nickel a barrel. Start your day with the latest local news. Sign up for our newsletter for direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. A popular classic video game has become a tool in the battle to overcome multiple sclerosis. CTV's Pauline Chan explains.
Tetris has been enjoyed by gamers for decades, but now it's proving to be medically useful for patients with MS, like Mary Rivet, who was diagnosed in 1995.
It was a very struggle raising my little ones. I had a lot of home care, stuff like that. I went on ups and downs.
Then she broke her pelvis in a bad fall and was barely able to move.
I was wheelchair bound. I was able to walk. I was making small steps to my chair in the shower, to the washroom.
But 4 years ago, she entered a program at McMaster to test if using the body to play Tetris would be a better form of exercise for MS patients.
We attach sensors to the skin, the very same type of sensor that you might expect to be used during an ECG test. They're detecting similar signals as well, except instead of those signals coming from the heart muscle, those signals are coming from skeletal muscles, types of muscles that we use to move around.
Participants did 18 half-hour sessions over 6 weeks.
It was 30 minutes, and I was sitting down at least 3 times during that 30 minutes. I had bars, I'm hanging on to bars, trying to hold my balance to play the games. By the end of the 6 weeks, Pauline, I wasn't hanging on and I wasn't sitting down for the 30 minutes.
From a wheelchair, she now uses just a cane to get around, and the researchers are looking for a few more participants to complete the study.
We can't say anything about statistical results at this time, but folks who are going through the biofeedback training do talk about rediscovering confidence in their ability to stand for longer periods of time. Sometimes their walking endurance improves.
They hope to report on the final results by the end of the year. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Well, sometimes pets need help with their weight too. That's why the Ontario Veterinary College at the University of Guelph has a weight care program that allows pets to shed some pounds in a healthy way. CTV's Spencer Turcott now with One Dog's fitness journey.
7-year-old Leo is as lovable and carefree as golden retrievers get. You'd never guess he's had a rough road with his health.
He started having kidney issues. I had to be very specific with his diet. So that kind of started his journey when it came to weight care and everything. And then he got hit with multicentric lymphoma.
He went through radiation and chemo, leading to reduced activity, and after a while, his owners realized he had packed on some pounds.
He was at 100 pounds. People around us were saying, like, oh, he's gained a lot of weight.
So it was time for Leo to buckle down, eat cleaner, hit the gym. Sounds silly for a dog, right? Not so. Leo was referred to the Ontario Veterinary College's weight care program.
There, good job. The more weight they bear on their joints, the more stress that causes in their joints. And in a case like a dog with osteoarthritis, we don't want them to be painful for the rest of their life.
Extra weight can also lead to bigger problems like diabetes, urinary disorders, and skin diseases. Not only did the college offer Leo a tailored diet plan, they laid out a workout plan too.
So if we combine our nutrition with exercise, we can aim at losing body fat mass, but trying to maintain muscle mass as much as possible.
Something Leo has been a big fan of.
Every time we drop him off for his workout, he pulls us to the pool and just cannot wait to jump in and does not want to ever get out.
It seems to have paid off with major improvements in his arthritis and mobility.
I'll look at his acupuncture appointments in the pool and I'm like, I wish I focused as much on myself. Like, what's going on here?
His hard work is showing up on the scale.
82 pounds even.
You're such a skinny dog now. You're so healthy.
And while Leo is getting closer to his goal weight of 75 pounds, maybe the most rewarding part of it all is he has an energy level his family hasn't seen in years. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Guelph.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Local maple producers are out tapping trees, getting ready for the sweet season ahead. And while one small farm is expanding and hoping to boost its output, producers across the province say the weather has delayed the start of syrup season. CTV's Chris Campbell has more.
So there you have it.
A small two-man crew is out tapping trees by hand, hanging buckets the old-fashioned way. Rob Nadeau says ideal conditions mean daytime highs around +5 and overnight lows near -5. The temperature swing gets sap flowing.
The +5, -5, and the cold, everything is frozen. You require a shock to the tree, and that's what the +5, -5 does. The water's going to start going up the tree, and we're going to collect it as it comes.
This year, the farm is expanding into 2 new bush lots, including a forested property owned by Colasantes that hasn't been tapped in years. Nadeau expects to add more than 100 new taps.
If it runs the way that we're hoping, and I think it will, we can probably double what we did last year, which is incredible for us for a small operation like this.
Despite the growth, Nadeau says tradition still comes first.
We do it all traditional, à la mitaine, which is by the mitten. And all our stuff is gravity. We don't use tubes. We might try to get into tubes a little bit next year just to do 50, 60 trees to show people how that works also. But we still like doing the old hard work kind of style.
Provincially, producers are also expanding, but the start of the season hasn't been the same everywhere.
For us, it is actually a little later than normal. We've made syrup late January before, so if the weatherman is right, we won't be making any syrup till almost March, which is quite late for us, actually.
Even so, Bill Vandenberg with the Ontario Maple Syrup Producers Association says a cold winter often means a strong crop, and most producers are optimistic. With Maple Month events and festivals coming up in March, interest in local syrup appears to be growing.
Yes, we started doing tours now. We had a tour bus come in from Wisconsin last year, which is wow. We could only accommodate about 20 people in here because it's a very small area to work in. But yeah, it's getting interesting.
8 local organizations have a new sense of hope today thanks to a donation from Maru Windsor Realty.
These groups, when they get 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, it's almost life-changing for them, and they can do so much with it.
Throughout the last year, sales associates donated a portion of each sale to the Keys of Hope charity fund. That total was matched by the owner of Maru Realty. Today, checks were handed out to 8 organizations totaling more than $17,500. These organizations often do not receive any government funding. Beneficiaries are the Brain Injury Association, Kiwanis Music Festival, Salvation Army, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Windsor Homeless Youth, Windsor Youth Center, and Harrow Public School, as well as St. Anthony Catholic Elementary School, to assist with their school nutrition programs. Since the charity started in 2018, Maru has donated more than $150,000. And ahead of the Valentine's Day weekend, Gary is back with a final look at weather. Gary.
I think Valentine's looks good. Temperatures are up, above seasonal, above the freezing mark. Some models suggesting we might get up to 5 degrees Celsius. Not bad. Mixture of sun and cloud in the afternoon. It's a mostly cloudy day, but the winds die down in the afternoon, and 4 degrees is pleasant enough. A lot of snow and ice melt continues. Look at this. Sunday, sunny. Monday, family day, sunny. 3, then 6 degrees. Cloudy through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with rain on the way. Wednesday's quite a wet day, so too Thursday morning. Temperatures next week average close to 5 degrees Celsius. Our average is now just above the freezing mark, and we'll get to about +1 for an average high. By the time Wednesday rolls around, it's going up and up. Enjoy your weekend, folks. Good night.
Well, Valentine's Day is about a half hour away, and if you're still in search of a present for your loved one, consider the gift of song.
Say you'll be mine forever.
Members of the Essex Vocal Express stopping by the CTV Windsor studio today. These talented a cappella singers will be traveling all around Windsor, Essex tomorrow, singing their hearts out for Valentine's Day. The proceeds from the 2-song set helps fund their work to keep music in schools. And that is your news for tonight. For those of you celebrating, I hope you all have a wonderful Valentine's Day, including my forever Valentine, Shubu, who is absolutely killing it out there. She'll be dancing at Disney World in Orlando later this year. She's just launched a nonprofit for aspiring artists in need of resources and support. And she's just an all-around driven human being who I absolutely love. And that is what we call 1,000 husband points right there. Thanks for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.